Well, good evening, friends and family, for this week's edition of Speaking of Zane. June the 13th already, June the 13th, 2021. Speaking of Zane, this is our 148th week of Speaking of Zane, and have not got tired of it yet, so I guess we'll press on. But we have a really good session this evening, highlighting some of our challenges that we've been participating in for a couple of years, and got some great updates and participation this week. So look forward to sharing that with everybody. Well, let's see. First, I want to let everybody know that we have a new member to the Speaking of Zane Facebook group, Diana Fender. Diana Fender was a young lady that I served with in the Air Force at Offutt Air Force Base many, many years ago. And she joined the Speaking of Zane group this week. And actually, more about her later. She's got a request of us, and I'll highlight that when we get to the Veteran Cemetery Challenge. But good to have everybody in here. There's my Aunt Mary down in Ocilla, Georgia. But good evening. Good to have everybody. That's another Facebook user, probably Jim Miller. Hey, Jim, up in Omaha. Good to have everybody popping on to the 148th edition of Speaking of Zane. And boy, I'm looking forward to seeing if Steve Shirley joins. Steve, I can see you, Lori. You're there. I see you. Yep, I got Lori, I got Aunt Mary, I think I got Jim Miller, and several others. I guess the question is, can you see me? And can you hear me? Can everybody see me and hear me? If somebody can see me and hear me, let me know in the chat, and then I won't be speaking into dead air. And hopefully I am broadcasting. It says I'm broadcasting to my Facebook page, the Speaking of Zane Facebook group, and YouTube, my YouTube channel. All right. Well, I'm getting reports, Lori, from others that everybody can see and hear me. So you may close your Facebook, open it up, or something like that, and see if you can get it to reset. But I do see you, Lori, and I see your messages there. So okay, let's see. Oh yeah, I was saying I hope that Steve Shirley. I was hoping Steve Shirley would join and tell us, just reassure us that they are okay. Steve and Kathy were in Minnesota, I think, this last week, and they had a tree fall on their car. And fortunately, they were not inside the car, and it's a doggone good thing because it looks like it totaled the car. But praise God, they are okay, according to Steve. And if Steve joins tonight, maybe he can assure us of that. There's Matt Aaron. Hey, Matt, welcome back. Good to have you. It's rare that you have to miss a session of Speaking of Zane, but you did last week, and we know you were on drill, so thank you for doing that. And Katie was here on your behalf, so good to see you this week. All right, let's see. Running to Honor 5K. We're going to do the Running to Honor 5K. We should call it the Walking to Honor because we'll probably walk it, not run it. At least the group of us here in this household. But that's July the 31st. Wow, it's coming up a month and a half away, and we are registered. We have a team called Speaking of Zane. So if you want to participate, you can go to the Speaking of Zane Facebook group if you want to find the info or ask me. And when you register, you can join the Speaking of Zane team. Yeah, there's a drop down to join a team. So anyway, we'll keep you updated on that. And certainly the day that we do that, we'll take some good pictures, maybe even do a little live stream from the trail that we walk on, which is very flat, except for the very last section, and it's a very shallow incline. But that's one of the reasons we're considering doing that same path again. Is it is shaded, and it's level, and so that should work out fine. And it's not too far from the Simplify Bar and Grill. So after a successful walk, perhaps that'll be our lunch destination. We'll see how things go. All right, let's see. I did not get an update this week on my Uncle Bob, but I asked you last week to keep him in your prayers. He's in a little poor health. He's got cancer. He's in his mid 80s now. Up until just recently, he's been fit as a fiddle. You'd have never known it. Uncle Bob, United States Air Force, retired. All right. Well, let's see. Struggled a little bit as I usually do, and that's part of the fun of it with the hat of the week. There wasn't anything glaringly obvious that I could tie it to, but I did decide to wear the other B-17 Texas Raiders hat. I know I wore the other one, and since I was wearing the shirt today, I figured I'd wear the other hat for the Texas Raiders B-17 that we got a chance to see the other day. And for that reason, the Texas Raiders B-17G that belongs to the Commemorative Air Force there in Midland, Texas, is the hat of the week. Good stuff. All right, well, let's see. What do we got going here? This week in military history, we have a couple of dynamite things in this week to call out, to note, to make everybody aware of. Number one is the birth of the United States Army, which occurred on June the 14th, 1775. So actually the Army is older than the country itself. So June the 14th, 1775. I guess it had to be because we needed them to fight the revolution so that we could be a country. Yeah, so happy birthday, United States Army. Just incredible, incredible force. And happy birthday. My friend Ralph at Simplify Bar and Grill will be doing a happy birthday to the Army. They have every service branch. He does a birthday party and a cake and that whole thing at the Simplify Bar and Grill, and he'll be doing that this week. Actually, I think he's doing it on Tuesday, if I recall. But anyway, I'm not going to be able to make it. If it was a little bit closer, I might be able to, but I'm not going to be able to make it out there and back. But happy birthday, United States Army. And also on June the 14th, and this was from 1777, so 2 years after the Army was born and a year after our nation was declared Flag Day. Flag Day. So tomorrow's Flag Day. So fly your American flag proudly. We fly ours here every day, and many in our neighborhood do as well. And but it's Flag Day tomorrow. So good stuff there. June the 14th, 1777. How about that? So the Army birthday and Flag Day on the same day. Good stuff. Okay, well, let's see. Yesterday, and I'll give you my opinion on this, and I'm a little bit lukewarm about it, but let me go to the comments here and see. Johnny Evol's in there, one of Zane's best buddies. Hey, Johnny. Good to see you. My sister says Uncle Bob is stable, still in the hospital. Okay, thank you for that, Lori. Oh, good. Oh, good. Thank you, Aunt Mary. Okay, so my Aunt Mary, who is Uncle Bob's sister and my dad's sister, says she's been going by there to see him. and looks like he may get out tomorrow and go to Kathy's, which is his daughter, Kathy, his youngest daughter. Okay, great. Thank y'all for that update. I appreciate that. Lori and I are trying to figure out when we can run back down there next. Maybe try to combine it with something, but um, we'll have to do that and make sure we see Uncle Bob. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. So what was I saying? So yesterday was Women Veterans Day. I think it was called Women's Veterans Day. I don't know how long that's been a thing, but I never recall hearing it until the last few years or so. As far as I'm concerned, women are equal to us, and they deserve to be heralded on Veterans Day just like everyone else. I don't know. To me, carving out a different day for them, I'm not jealous that they get another day. I'm just thinking, I don't think they need another day because they're one of us. They're veteran. I think it kind of diminishes it to me for some reason. Anyway, um, I love women in the military. I love women in general. My mom was a woman. I even married a woman. I love women, and but I just think they're equal. And I don't know. I have these things. I just I struggle with some of these things that seek to carve out one, a group on some sort of lines, or to make a separate group that's this or that. I don't know. Um, it's a weird thing, but anyway, whether it was Women's Veterans Day or not, thank you to all the women who served for sure. And I served with a lot of them, and I tell you what, they are top notch. And my wife is a veteran, and I tell the joke when I met her in the parking lot at the barracks, she was covered in grease and smelled like diesel fuel, and it was love at first sight. So anyway, happy Veterans Day there. Okay, let's see. Let's go through our challenges here. We've got some good numbers for our challenges this week. Our Veteran Cemetery Challenge that we've been doing. Hello, Katie Aaron. Our Veteran Cemetery Challenge that we've been doing for a couple years now. And so every week when somebody visits a veteran cemetery, they tell us about it or they put it in the Speaking of Zane Facebook group. And we talk about it and we celebrate it and we add it to our list. We put it on our map and we just have a great time with it because those folks deserve to be recognized. Those that are resting in the place of honor, those that gave a portion of their life in service to this country and some who gave their life in service to this country. Those places are hallowed ground, and anytime I can visit one, I just feel honored to do so. And you guys have been participating right along with us from the very beginning, and I can't tell you how awesome it feels when I tell people what we do and how we celebrate it. And anyway, you guys have done a great job. We had a great number of visits this week. Of course, Daryl Cottrell in the St. Louis area visited his wife Wanda this week. He said it's hot out there. It was 90-some degrees out there, and he couldn't stay very long. But so Daryl got Jefferson Barracks. Lori went out to Georgia National earlier this week, and she put some new flowers out, and they look great. And she found this awesome poem. I tell you what, we continue to be blown away by the people that visit Zane. I mean, it's just incredible. We don't even know who all visits Zane. We just see coins and trinkets and different mementos and stuff. And when we go, and I tell you, it's a warm feeling, and it's not like it's close to anybody. We're in the northern suburbs and it's 25 miles from us. So anybody that lives in Atlanta, it's at least 25 miles, 30, 40, 50, 60 miles for anybody that lives, around here. It's not like it's close for anybody. So they have to purposely be going out of their way to see our son. And we sure appreciate it. There's my friend Jane down in Savannah. Hey, Jane, good to have you in there for sure. And anyway, so Lori was out there, and We have found things there pretty regular that people will leave, and oftentimes, depending on what it is and where how it's sitting there, we'll leave it for a while. But we sort of make a habit of taking the items and bringing them home, and I have them collected. And the reason why is the cemetery, the workers clean up around the headstones and different things. So you'll just lose things. And anyway, Lori found just a treasure of a poem that someone left. I posted it. You can go read it on the Speaking of Zane Facebook group, but I'll show you. It was inside this little plastic leaf that has a magnetic back on it. So this is the kind of thing you put on the refrigerator. But inside of it is this poem that I had never seen before, and it's called "The Final Inspection." Just an awesome poem, and I won't read it. It's about a dozen verses here, but you can go to the Speaking of Zane Facebook group and scroll back to about Tuesday or Wednesday, and you'll see it. But just incredible stuff, and we sure appreciate you if you're one of those that visit Zane, or if you're watching this recording on YouTube and you have visited Zane. Thank you very much from the bottom of our heart. It actually is is such an encouragement to us that he won't be forgotten. All right, let's see. And another one of Zane's battle buddies, Andrew, who joins us here regular. Andrew, I don't know if you're there. Give us a shout in the comments if you are. Andrew, I think it's true. Andrew lives in North Dakota, but he was down in Colorado, and he messaged me today and said he visited his grandfather at Logan National Cemetery there. I have visited there before. It's a nice cemetery there in the Dallas or Denver metro. And anyway, Andrew visited his grandfather there. So we got another Logan National Cemetery in the books. And then I do need to update the map, by the way. I'll update the map this week, and I'll put the link to the updated map on the Speaking of Zane group, so you can go take a look at it. But and we had a special treat yesterday and today. Ken, who's normally here with us, Ken from down near Orlando, he happens to be up in the DC area this week for the internment of his mother, who passed last year, and she's to be buried at Arlington National Cemetery, and tomorrow is her funeral, and it's taken this long because of coronavirus and all this. It's taken months for her turn to be buried there, and that's where Ken and Janet are. And so they went up there early, and on Friday he went out there and visited his dad, who's buried there. Remember, his dad was on Pearl Harbor when it was attacked, and but his dad's buried there. He's been gone a few years now. And then yesterday he visited his dad. Today, he messaged me and said, "Okay, guy, I know you got some folks here at Arlington. Who should I visit for you?" And told him, and then I decided, he said, "Is there anybody else?" And you saw me put the request out if anybody had someone there for him to visit. And we got several folks respond, and Ken was able to visit all but one who turns out has not been buried there yet. He is scheduled to be, but he's not there yet. But Ken, I'll go through the list here. Actually, he posted the pictures. You may have seen them already on the Speaking of Zane Facebook group, but I will share those now and tell you exactly who he visited. Uh-oh, is that flashing for you guys? Let me That is flashing for me. Let me try it again. While I'm trying to fix that, let's see. Matt says, when they went out in the field this week, they slept close to a cemetery that had graves from 1780. Wow, 1780. That's crazy, Matt. In Michigan? Wow, that's incredible. All right, let's try this again. I will back up. We'll share the screen. We'll share this screen right here. Stick with me. Let's try something here. There we go. All right, hopefully you can see that. If you can see the screen share there with Ken's post, somebody give me a yes in the comments there. But anyway, so I gave him a couple to visit. Steve Butcher, obviously, Steve was one of the soldiers killed in 369, the unit with Matt and Johnny and Andrew and all those who were in Zane's unit. And good, thank y'all, Katie, Daryl. Yeah, so Steve Butcher is at Arlington, and Ken was nice enough to purposefully go by there and visit and take a picture there for us. So, and then he went and paid a visit to Gordon Desmond, and at the request of our friend Kathy Cobb. And I don't know the connection. We'll have to find out, Lori, from Kathy what the connection is. But Ken went by and paid a visit to Gordon Desmond there at Arlington. And then Michael Heiser. This is an airman that Steve and Amy and Jim and others that we all served with at RAF Mildenhall. Most of us served with Mikey at RAF Mildenhall, and we flew together, spent a lot of time flying, spent a lot of time together in the Azores, and he transferred to Special Air Missions Unit out of DC. And anyway, he was deployed to Saudi Arabia and was one of the airmen killed in the Khobar Towers bombing there in Saudi. If you remember, they blew the front of that dormitory barracks up. And unfortunately, Mike was a casualty. And I've been by to see him at Arlington myself as well. And then Ken swung by and paid a visit and honored Fielding Robeson, at the request of Lori's aunt Kathy Martin. And I'm not sure of the connection there either, but Ken went by, paid his respects. That one looks a little bit weathered, doesn't it? That stone there. I can't quite read the dates there. That's the one of the monuments for the shuttle Columbia astronauts, because I asked Ken if he would swing by and pay a visit to Lieutenant Colonel Michael Anderson, who was on the Columbia. And many of us on the Facebook group here served with him as well. He was a Looking Glass EC-135 pilot during that window of time, and then he went on to fly tankers, and then became an astronaut, and was killed in the skies over Texas on re-entry of Space Shuttle Columbia. And then Ken swung by and saw James Bernard Jarvis at the request of Rachel Merrick. Rachel Merrick is the wife of the Merrick in Matt and Zane's unit. Um, they live in Michigan too. I don't know how far away they are from you guys, Matt and Katie, but Rachel saw my request there, and evidently this I think is the great grandfather of her daughter. Must be on her daughter's father's side. So that I think that was it. So thank you, Ken, for doing that. Just amazing that somebody, while they're there to bury their mother, would take the time to go and visit for others. And Ken told me he wouldn't be able to join tonight. Of course, the whole family is convening tonight and tomorrow, and then I think tomorrow's the funeral, and then everybody will disperse on Tuesday. So thinking about you, Ken. I know he'll watch the replay, but thank you, Ken, for me personally, and on behalf of the others that you sought out their loved one and paid your respects. So thank you, my friend. Okay, well, let's move on to the think of that. Well, let's see. So that made us have that was 6 visits. Let's see, Daryl, Lori, Andrew, and I'm counting Ken's 3 visits. So he went out there 3 different days. It may be 4 days. Yeah, maybe 4 days. Anyway, so 6 visits. So we're at a 429 visits to 134 different veteran cemeteries. So good stuff. Great conversation starter when you're talking with somebody to tell them about that. You can send them the link to the map, and you get to tell them the story of the national cemeteries. And that dates all the way back to Abraham Lincoln, by the way, after Gettysburg. Okay, the Thank a Vet Challenge. You're not going to believe how many we had this week. We had quite a few. I think 2 vets at work. My new role has me meeting a lot more people, or broadening my touch points across the company. And anyway, so I'm meeting some new folks, and one guy I met was an Air Force vet. The other guy I can't remember which branch he was, but anyway, I met 2, thanked 2 this week, and then Lori thanked an Air Force vet and a deputy sheriff, and she handed out another one of her we need you, or we want you, or we need you. I can't remember what the card says. I think I have one here. What did I do with it? Anyway, she handed out another card, and oh, speaking of that, I don't know if you saw this, Lori, but a couple of hours ago, we're on this neighborhood Facebook group, so you kind of see people post things that are going on in the neighborhood, and even traffic and stuff like that. Well, somebody was out at the intersection of Cedar Crest and 92 by the flea market, and they said there were over 20 police cars there with lights on and everything at the flea market. And I'm thinking, what? Well, it turns out somebody at the flea market tried to kidnap a little kid, and when the cop tried to stop him, he shot the cop. This is like, what is it, Lori, a mile and a half, 2 miles, 3 miles away? Holy smoke. And I had just driven past there on the way home, and it must have happened right after I drove past. But anyway, I don't know the latest, but I tell you, every day when a cop goes to work, you don't know what to expect. I mean, it's not like we live in the ghetto or anything, and it's crazy. It's crazy. I hope he's okay, and I know we'll probably see something on the news about it, but terrible. All right, let's see. Ken sent a note and said he thanked a Marine Corps vet. Daryl's in here. Hey, Daryl. Daryl thanked an Army vet, 2 Air Force vets, and a Navy vet. Now, Daryl, I couldn't quite understand the context of what you said about the Navy vet, about what he said. It didn't make sense to me. What he said, who he was talking about, or what. But interesting post there. But maybe you can clear that up in my mind. It's been bugging me ever since you posted it. You can private message me there if you want to. But hey, Brenda Lusk, good to have you in there from Michigan. So that was Daryl's. Andrew, who I mentioned that went to see his grandfather. he thanked 6 veterans while he was out there at Logan. And then Katie thanked a Vietnam vet, had a great story, as she always does. She can't just say, I thanked a Vietnam vet. She, she writes a quite a lengthy and descriptive and very illustrative um, account of the interaction. And I love that about Katie. And she needs to write a book. But it was great, Katie. Thank you for posting that. And that that was an awesome read. And you sure do run into a lot of Vietnam vets where you're at. That's for sure. Okay, let me stop here. And Matthew says, try living with her. Oh, mercy. The way she describes her life with those 2 little girls of yours, amazing. Oh, crazy. Daryl says he just said to hell with them. I assumed he meant the Navy, but he was wearing a Navy hat. See, that's what's got me, Daryl. Daryl told him thank you, and he said to hell with them. And who are they? You know, who is he talking about? If he's wearing a Navy hat, that's the confusing part about it, Daryl, that I didn't get. But yeah, and I guess you really didn't even know what he was who he was talking about. You're only left to assume who else could it be. But anyway, God bless him. I hope everything's okay. Oh, mercy. All right, so and then our um, Charlotte's childhood friend, a young lady who remains a friend with us, McKenna, who lives in Idaho now. She posted that she thanked 3 vets at the Warhawk Museum in Idaho. I haven't had a chance to look that up yet. She lives in Idaho. And I don't even know what the Warhawk Museum is, but it makes me want to visit. So I'll look up the Warhawk Museum. But anyway, if you add up all the thank yous that I just cited, you arrive at 19 thank yous. And that's pretty doggone good in a week's time, which takes us to 856 thank yous since we started this little challenge. And I'll tell you, I bet we get to 1,000 before the end of the summer. So keep it up, guys. I tell you what, that's just one more veteran that doesn't have to worry that at least somebody, gives a damn about them. And that's good. I appreciate you guys sharing that with us and doing that with us and writing the account of your encounter on the Speaking of Zane Facebook group. It's great to read. All right, well, let's see what we got. We're zooming on through here, and we're just about at the end. We're coming to the organization section, and usually have something to report there. I did last week. Of course, we got the Running to Honor 5K coming up. I did have a conversation with another guy at work this week. He works at the same company as me, and him and a couple of other folks in the St. Louis area have started an organization whose primary purpose, I should post this in the Facebook group, but they're out to address veteran homelessness, and they're in the business of buying and refurbishing homes for veterans in the St. Louis area. And they're just kind of a young organization, a year or two old, and they just completed a couple houses, and they've had some veterans cycle through, and it's not meant to be a long-term thing. It's more of they buy these old dilapidated homes and they refurbish them, and then they make them stepping stones for veterans that are homeless. Anyway, this guy, he got a hold of me because the president of our company, he was talking to the president of our company, and the president of our company told him to call me. So Steve Fuchs is his name. He called me and chatted, and he was just wanting to, make the veterans group at our company aware of the organization and what they do, and just start to build a relationship there. I don't know in what capacity we ultimately might be able to help. But the thing that struck me, and the reason I bring it up, is that this most recent house they bought and refurbished, um, they did so. What pushed them across the finish line on this particular house was Gary Sinise, somebody that's on the board of the organization has some sort of connection with Gary, and Gary found out about what they were doing. And of course, Gary's heavily in the business of building these specially modified smart homes for wounded warriors. And so I wasn't surprised to hear the story from Steve. But um, anyway, so Gary, and anything Gary Sinise is involved in, I'm all ears. Anyway, so this guy Steve called me and we chatted, and the thing that struck me, and this is, and I told him this, you know how all these groups, all these organizations that help veterans and military members and wounded warriors and all that, do you notice how the vast majority of them are veterans themselves? And sometimes that's kind of troubled me that it takes us to, it's like if we don't look out for each other, no one else is. But in this organization, it's called Vision Warriors. And in this organization, Vision Warriors, nobody in the organization, nobody on the board are veterans. They're just patriotic Americans looking out for veterans. And it's just a beautiful thing. And I told him that. I said, it gets a little bit deflating out here when, we only really have Gary Sinise and Mike Rowe, that are not veterans out there helping veterans. And anyway, I just found that very interesting. And if we end up doing anything with Vision Warriors, I'll let you know. I'll keep them listed in our organizations here, but they're in the St. Louis area. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. Lori says, does Kelly Kowal still need help loading and unloading for her service dog project? Well, let's see. Kelly, yeah, that's a good reminder. I put a message out on Facebook, and I hoped some of my Tampa friends would see it and propagate it down there and let folks know that Kelly is looking for some help to load up and transport some things, I think, from one location to another location or two or something there in the Tampa area. I'll have to go back and look and see how she's progressing on that. I think was it Lori, from like today to Wednesday or something? I can't remember exactly what she was asking for there. But anywho, Kelly is always doing good work of some kind, I'll tell you. I can't wait to get back down there and see her too. All right, let's see. Heroes that we lost or any incidences that we had this week. We had one, and sadly we have not for the last few weeks that I can recall, but we had a Marine recruit, young man, 19 years old, Dalton Beals. And I didn't see if they listed where he was from, but Dalton Beals, Marine Corps recruit, died during the Crucible, which is their the culmination of Marine Corps boot camp. He died during the Crucible. Sad. So anyway, thoughts and prayers are with Dalton Beals' family for sure. There's my Aunt Cindy over in Alabama. Hey, Aunt Cindy. Good to have you in here for Speaking of Zane. It's our 148th Speaking of Zane. And we're just about done, but I'm glad you dropped in there. Katie, she's got, well, I wouldn't say that she's got a service dog project. I don't know what her plans are, but she, in addition to making the facility there available for veterans and service members and their families and wounded warriors and first responders and whatnot, she makes it available for service animals, and she has an entire shed there where veterans who have pets can come and get food, free pet food. So she's done that for quite a number of years, and all they got to do is call and come and get food for their pet. and she may be expanding um, what she's doing there. She has a service dog. What was her dog's name, Lori? I can't remember. She has a little service dog of her own. Is a little small dog. I can't remember what what brand or what type, but oh, she is. Okay, Lori, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm a little out of touch there. So okay, good, good. Well, we'll have to follow that, and Katie, we'll let you know what exactly what's going on there. Lori was down there. Lori stayed at her house, and then Lori went to my warrior's place and stayed a few days there. So Lori certainly knows what's going on there. But yeah, maybe we can get Kelly back on. We haven't had her here since I think January. We had her on. Maybe Lori can reach out to Kelly and we can have her back one Sunday night and tell us about that project. Yeah, Yo-Yo was her dog. That's right. Yep, Yo-Yo. Yeah, that's a great idea, Lori, to get, let's see if we can get Kelly back. If she's got something substantive that she wants to update us on, and if it's the dog project, that would be great to hear about. Okay. Well, let's see. I think that is all I've got. Like that's enough, right? But I tell you what, I can't tell you how satisfying it is to have people join us to listen to me ramble about things. But it's all to keep Zane's memory alive, to keep his name alive, and to share with one another. And you see me laugh a lot. Sometimes you see me cry. But at the end of the day, I hope that what we do to honor Zane and what we do in an attempt to be sure that he is not forgotten and his name is continues to be spoken. We'll do what we can, and and then it just seems natural that we would help others, we would reach out to others, we would thank others, we would visit others. In fact, it's Gary Sinise that says, let me see if I can find it. Service is a great healer. It says if you have a broken heart, help somebody else. Your life, your whole life will be different. So that's good advice there, and it's proven to be true for us. I'll tell you, the more that we're involved in these kind of things, it really is. It really does make a difference. Sure does. Jane, yes, Jane, I saw that you joined the Speaking of Zane team for the Running to Honor 5K. I'm so happy. I know we've got Steve out in Omaha. We've got Jane, Lori, and I. I'm not sure who else. I need to go back and look. I had a couple of others join. My friend at work, Bridget, her son, who's actually going to school in Colorado, but he's home right now. But so we have some folks, and then we'll have some local folks join us for the walk. Even if they don't become part of the official team, they'll join us like they did last year. And maybe my dad and my sister will come up again, and we'll just have a good time. But Jane, thank you. I look forward to hearing your report on that. And if you're, I mean, we would love for you to have, we would love to have you come and walk or run with us, Jane. I know it's a 5-hour drive from Savannah, but we would love to have you and show you around, maybe go see Zane, have some lunch. So anyway, you have an open invitation, and thanks for being part of our team. Okay, folks, well, have a great week. I've got another Power Pack week at work. I'm looking forward to it, excited about things that are going on at work. And if anything related to Speaking of Zane type activities happens at work, a lot of things do. I will report those. But everybody have a great week. If you're traveling, be safe. And we'll look forward to seeing everybody right back here again next week for Speaking of Zane. It'll be the 149th time that we've done this, and we're still trucking along. So we'll look forward to seeing everybody next Sunday. Thanks, everybody.